We have a yellow Volkswagen. Yellow Volkswagen. Your lights are on. They'll go off eventually, but you might want to go out there and turn them off right now. We found out the culprit. Her lights are on right here. She's going to turn her lights off. If you take a look at your placemats, we have our MACA All Conference on one side. For boys soccer, Gavin Odom. Boys basketball, Gavin Odom. Boys volleyball, Aiden Matson, Josiah Oster. Boys baseball, Preston Ryan, Holden Popperwell, Braden Register, Aiden Haig. Girls basketball, Allie Anderson, Cameron Brazil. Girls softball, Sam Argento and Cameron Brazil. Girls volleyball, Allie Anderson and Jamie Lavoie. If you turn those placemats over, on the other side, we have some highlights from the 6 championship teams this year. Okay, this is the 5-minute warning. We understand some people still hadn't got their food. We got it, we understand. And so we're just going to try to start. We're just going to kind of work towards some things in 5 minutes. So just bear with us. We'll bear with you. But if you need to go get a bathroom, a drink, something like that, we're going to try to get started in about 5 minutes. All right, Mrs. Camarillo is going to vacate the certificate table in about 1 minute and 19 seconds. I appreciate her faithfulness. And so if you guys want your certificate, or you can come later and just look through the cards yourself. But
Give us a shout out.
all right, if I could have your attention, please. Caleb, could you cut the music? We have some people in line. These folks are not rude. They're simply getting supper. How many of you still have not had supper? Would you raise your hand? Is there anybody? Please feel free to get up and join the back of the line. But we are going to go ahead and get started tonight, if you wouldn't mind, okay? Just to give you some things for next year, we're looking forward to it. We have recruited next year, we're going to have a full-time student traveling with us, taking pictures. I appreciate John Albanese agreeing to do that. And so we're working hard to secure a social media person, somebody. How many of you know we have a New Bern Christian Academy Facebook account? How many of you haven't seen anything on that since December? That's me. I don't do that stuff. But we're going to fix it, and we're going to have it better next year. We even have some kids who are making their own slides and put it on. I said, we got to get better at this. So we got several kids that are interested in doing it, and we're going to hone it down to just one, and we're going to make these things for the young people to travel and be a part of our program. So we're looking forward to that. I appreciate Mr. Huff again doing our pictures. And so as we do awards and we go up, you want to get a picture, take with Mr. Huff, and then throughout the night, they're going to take other pictures, okay? The first thing I want to do is just something that's important to me is giving away a John 13 award. And I say that Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And he showed in that instance what servant leadership was. And so every year we try to pick a staff member, somebody who serves selflessly for our young people. Last year we chose a lady in our church, Mrs. Moore, no relationship to me, but every week she would go out and wash all the vans and get them clean for us. And so we appreciate that. And this year, we have chosen somebody who has taken over our concession stand. Miss Tracy Davis has taken over our concession stand and done a fabulous job. And so we want to give her I got a towel at first, and the lady at Advanced Science says, Dan, she don't want a towel. Get her a blanket. And so, I didn't want you to come up. Mikey's got it back there. So give her a hand. Give her a hand. Very good. She not only does the concessions, she sets up the concessions, and she does all the scheduling. And so I want to thank her for her selfless leadership in that respect, okay? So I appreciate you giving her a hand. Very good. Thank you for that. And we gave that to Mikey to give to you, okay? At this time, we're going to start the process. Now, I got to be careful because we can get in such a hurry that we take away the specialness of the night for these young people. And so these coaches are going to come up. We're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Pastor Scott has asked us to try to keep it to 3 minutes, but that's tough to do. And so we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. When you see 3 minutes roll around, then once you get to about the 4 minute mark, then we have bouncers, people that are bigger and stronger than me, that's going to come and take you out from the side. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. But at this time, we're just going to get the ball rolling with some of our middle school sports, our JV sports. And again, we've saved a lot of time by not passing out those certificates. Praise the Lord, right? So if I could get Mrs. Abby Phillips. Is Miss Abby in the house? She's here somewhere. She's going to come up. She does a great job. Her and Andrew do a great job with the middle school volleyball and our JV volleyball. We're going to do our best to split these teams up next year. We'll be going in the same direction, and so we don't have to worry about going in separate places. We'll just have those 3 games tonight, but we are thinking and considering about our middle school team and how to branch out a little bit more. So without any further ado, you'll have 3 minutes for middle school, 3 minutes for JV, so about 6 minutes, okay? Thanks, guys.
Okay, so like you said, we coach the middle school and the JV volleyball team, and this was our first year doing the middle school team, and so it was a little difficult because with 2 coaches and two different teams, but we only had 1 practice, and so it was really, really difficult to get like fundamental skill level things taught just during that 1 practice time. But I'm really looking forward to the off season, especially this summer, so I can get to know them better and hopefully develop some of these skills. So do you have the awards? Okay. So first we're going to give out a Mustang Leadership Award, and this player is such an athlete. She stood out on the middle school level and helped us on the JV level as well. She's quiet, but she leads really well, especially for the age that she is. She always did what we asked to the best of her ability with a smile on her face. She listened during huddles, but you could see her trying to be a leader and stand out, but not just doing what the other girls did. We didn't know until about the middle of the season that she wanted to be a setter, and so once she kind of figured out that she was really good at setting, it kind of like switched the game for her, and she got a lot more confident. And then she started helping us on the JV level. So I'm really excited to see her take off as an athlete and an individual. And so our Mustang leadership goes to Ava Lewis. Good job, Ava. You're welcome. You can go back to your seat. Okay, next for middle school is most improved. This athlete is really, really strong. I remember at our it was either our tryouts or like one of our first practices, she was like over here, and there's another girl that was over here, and this girl asked for a ball. And volleyball etiquette is like you roll the ball, you don't chunk it across the room, but she picked the ball up and she just threw it like straight to the girl, and I looked at her and I was like, please tell me you play softball. And she was like, yes ma'am, I do. And she's just like really, really strong, and so I'm excited to work on her strength, but like get it more towards volleyball and not so much softball. I mean, obviously she'll work on softball as well, but to just have the power for volleyball. All the movements were new to her at the time that she came to me, but I'm excited to see them evolve with volleyball. And so I'm excited to keep working with her in the future years. And our most improved goes to Carolyn Meadows. Good job. Okay. Next for middle school is offensive player. This athlete's really, really fun to coach. She's really goofy, but she also knows whenever it's time to listen. She loves to laugh and have fun, but again, she just takes things seriously when it's time to. She helped us offensively in middle school by being someone I could rely on to get the ball over the net. In middle school, it's really hard to have a competitive, I guess, back and forth volley because they're all just learning, but I could definitely depend on her to just get the ball over. And towards the end of the year, she got quite a few kills and helped us out. So our offensive player of the year goes to Riley Rhodes.
You gotta speed it up. You got 2 minutes left.
Okay, good job. I'm sorry. Okay, so Andrew said I gotta speed it up. Okay, so JV volleyball. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Okay, defensive player. Okay, this athlete is really tiny, but she's super mighty. She plays volleyball year round, and she's gotten a lot better over the years. She was able to help us defensively by knowing seams, meaning like when the ball's hit over the net, she knows where she's supposed to be. She knows where other people are supposed to be able to get the ball. She was really vocal, and she helped us on the back row. So our defensive player goes to Jaylee Folter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with JV. Good job. So for JV, let's just scoot right into our awards because I don't have much time. Okay, so this player is really athletic. She's mentally extremely tough. You don't really find girl athletes that are really, really tough mentally, and with volleyball, you have to be. She's in the JROTC program, and so I think that really helps her with that. She did exactly what we asked for her, and she never said, I can't, or I don't know how. She just figured it out, or she asked for more help. She has never played volleyball before. She started on varsity as well, and she did a great job. I really hope that she keeps playing volleyball. And so our offensive player goes to Cam Bazile. Good job. You look so pretty. Okay, next is our defensive player. I'm really, really sad that I'm not going to be able to coach this player anymore. She's been with us since we really started. But she's been really dear to me throughout the season because she's really quiet, but she's determined and will ask what she can do to get better every single practice, which every coach wants one of those on their team. She's confident and will help on the varsity level. Our defensive player goes to Ella Enzer. Uh-oh. Okay. Good job. You're welcome. Okay, most improved is she has improved tremendously. So she's the kind of athlete that you really want on your team, that the coach wants on her team, player wants on her team. She has a sweet spirit, and she's determined to get this skill down pat. She's a friend to everyone and encouraged them. The mindset that she had allowed her to concentrate and focus on getting better, not just settling for the skill set that she's at. Our most improved goes to Avery Bennett. Okay, last one. Sorry I went over. This one is the Mustang leadership, and again, I won't be able to coach this athlete anymore on the JV level. She is really encouraging and motivating. She can whistle better than anyone I've ever met. And she's loud but super humble. She's been able to help us in more ways than her athletic ability. She was the pat on the back that you can do it, and that would help a teammate get through a tough game. She was the scream from the bench to keep pushing through and fighting back at a hard match. She's an athlete that would come to me if she felt like something was off with another player. She really looked out for her teammates. Spiritually, she prayed for us and showed us on the court with her actions what it was like to put Christ before athletics. She was a leader, a captain, and will be dearly missed. Our Mustang Award goes to Emmeline Easton.
problem at all. Thank you so much. Let's give Emily a big hand. Congratulations to all of our middle school and JV girls volleyball players. At this time, we want to ask Coach Sam Barker to come up, and I would like for this is one of our championship teams, and so if you are on his championship middle school boys team, would you come on up here as well and just kind of hang out in front of the backdrop? Coach will come up here and give some recognition to you guys. Then we're going to keep Coach Sam up here for his middle school boys. So, guys, if you're on that championship team, would you go stand in front of the backdrop, and then I have something for you, okay? Coach, what did I say? Cross country, not basketball, cross country. Thank you.
All right. Is that everybody? All right. Everyone that's here. All right. Clock's on 4 minutes. I won't need that. We're going to get right to it, okay? All right. Anytime you're coaching at the middle school level, I found it to be extremely rewarding. Basketball is a completely different rewarding. For cross country, it is thoroughly the aspect of mental toughness that we try and preach and get towards the middle school guys, and they've done a great job. At the end of last year of the school year, I kind of made the decision to give an incentive to help our basketball program, that we would encourage our athletes to run cross country. And many of those that you see over there are basketball players that were incentivized, of course, word incentive, to run cross country. And those guys did a great job. So I just want to say that I'm very proud of them for handling that task and getting better mentally as well as physically with their speed and endurance. And now for the awards. For middle school cross country, we have 3 awards. First, I'll start out with the most improved. I noticed he was not here tonight. He was unable to make it. But this guy, he ended up joining for basketball reasons to get in shape. And throughout the year, he ended up dropping his times exponentially, and he ended up finishing around the 15-minute mark for a 3K. And for the average runner at his age, that is quite the task. And his name is Zach Howard. So we can go ahead and give it up for Zach. Next, we will go to the MVP. This guy, he had been a year-round soccer player, showed interest in cross country just as much as basketball, and he began to be a tremendous talent. He has a very competitive spirit, very competitive edge. He didn't take it very lightly to other people challenging him. He made every practice a hard day, and for that, I'm very grateful to get to coach him, Channing Boucher. Yep, MVP, Channing Boucher. All right, and for the third and final award for the middle school cross country, this is the Mustang Leadership Award. For cross country, like I said, we made a strong focus for mental fortitude, which is extremely applicable to our faith as Christians. And this runner not only showed this leadership and his kindness and his meekness towards his peers, also his ability to do whatever I said to the fullest and to his best ability, but he ended up being a tremendous runner. And I'm extremely glad that he decided that he wants to continue to run and continue to get better. Out of everyone on the team, Channing had our best times, but this guy was right with him, neck and neck, and he is an extreme athlete. I want to give this award to him not only because of his meekness and his kindness to his peers, but also towards his Christ-like efforts on the trail each and every day, Christian Ponds. All right, now we're going to jump right into the middle school basketball, which we'll be giving out 4 awards. 4 minutes on the clock. Won't even need that. We're going to make this a challenge. We're trying to get this going. We're making a challenge. So for middle school basketball, let's start with, I want to start with the Mustang Leadership Award. Traditionally, we would give a leadership award to an upperclassman because of how they were looked on upon some of the younger athletes. For this, I want to say this is not the reason. Although this guy was an upperclassman on the middle school team, his Christ-like character has shined through him for years. I had the privilege to have him when he was in 7th grade in my Bible class, and there were times where I thought he could get up and he could preach sections of that class just as well as I could. I mean, this kid is an absolute special kid to have on the team, special kid to have in the class. And on top of that, I ended up seeing a lot of potential in him that he had on the court, which led him to get more and more minutes as the season progressed. This was his first year making the team. I just want to say I'm very proud of him for who he is on and off the court. Braxton McLawthorne. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. We'll go with the most outstanding defensive player. This person, all-around athlete. This will be his second award given tonight. Me and Coach Moore have spent many days talking about how he just has a knack to be a basketball player. He's learning the offensive side of the ball more and more each year, but the defensive side of the ball has come naturally to him. Channing Boucher. All right, now we'll move on to the most outstanding offensive player. This award really could have been given to 3 different people, but as I really sat down and looked at the stats and thought about the way that our offense was ran, I have to say it stood out very clearly who was most deserving of this award. This person is his second year making the middle school basketball team. He is a great leader in his competitive edge, but also in the way that he controls the pace of the game on the offensive side and is able to be able to control the ball, protect the ball, and allow us to get into our offense. And for any coach who wants to run a systematic basketball, that's very important. Jace Blaylock. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the MVP award. I just want to say, if you didn't know anything about our middle school team this year, we had a lot of new guys coming up. We only had 4 guys actually come back on this team, so this was a fresh start. At the end of last year, I knew I was going to have to really be more of a developmental coach rather than a coach with a winning mindset, and so there was lots of different things we had to work through. This player did not make the team last year, but this year he did make the team, and he quickly asserted himself into the starting lineup. And throughout the year, he began to develop into not only a starter on the team, but one of the most reliable players that I had on the team, period. And we had a good season. We had a good run at the end of the year. We made the 4th seed in our final tournament. We played the 1st seed in the first round. Very close game. We ended up falling short. I put the ball in this kid's hands, and it ended up being a busted play, and he was very discouraged about it. But I just want to say this publicly before we get off to the next award. There is no other person on that team I would have put the ball in his hands. He held the highest 3-point percentage. He had the best shot selection. He had the best spirit. And I would put that ball in his hands 10 times out of 10 because I know that he is willing to make that play and knock it down. So I just want to say I'm proud of his improvement. I'm proud of who he is in the classroom as well. Rylan Voidalock.
And Coach, this is for you. Congratulations on your championship. This is for you as well. Okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, quickly moving along, we're going to middle school girls. And so I have my middle school girls here. And our assistant coach, Taylor, Ms. Taylor, is going to help us pass those out. And I want to say this group of girls, this team is special to me in part because of Taylor. They've fallen in love with Taylor. They could take or leave me, you know what I'm saying? But they have fallen in love with Taylor. I saw them on the bleachers today, just 3 girls huddled around her, and they were talking. That does a daddy's heart good. How many of you know what I'm saying when you see that? One of the highlights of my life right now is coaching with her, so I appreciate that, okay? We're going to go, first of all, to our most improved for middle school. This is handwritten in. The reason it's handwritten in is because I just could not decide. We talked about it a month ago. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it again last night. We talked about it today. Could not come to a conclusion. Just could not struggle with this because we had 3 girls that could to be in this. But this particular young lady had an outstanding semifinal game. And so for me, that just kind of put it over the edge for me. And so our most improved this year, Macy Sin. Come on down, Macy. Our defensive player of the year, there's several layers of defense. There's on-ball defense, then there's the help defense, and then, of course, to end a defensive possession, you got to rebound the ball. Well, this little girl, she was out in the open floor, and to be honest with you, she did not even get a jersey the first game. We had 14 girls on the team. We had 12 jersey spots, and she ended up getting the jersey spot. She ended up becoming a starter late in the year, and it's her ability and her aggressiveness in the full court, and that is Miss Lola Grace. Come on down, Lola. And that is her brother, Holden Pupperwill. Offensive player of the year, when this young lady scored the basketball, most all the time we won the game. And so we're grateful. The Lord's just given her a knack to put the ball in the basket. And so we praise the Lord. Our offensive player, Miss Zoe Tripp. Come on down, Zoe. And our Mustang Leadership Award, and I have a benefit because I have 2 girls' teams kind of combined into one, and sometimes we play middle school, sometimes we play high school. So there are some girls who did not get recognized in the middle school because I'm going to be able to recognize them in the JV, so understand that. But as it pertains to just kind of where they fell, I felt like our Mustang Leadership Award, this young lady, just a great spirit all the time. Anything I ask her to do, she does it, and she just gives a great effort every time. Miss Riley Rhodes, Mustang Leadership Award. And I want to say thank you to all of our girls on that middle school team. We ended up 2nd place, and I appreciate all of them. Like I said, several girls could have fallen in several of these categories. This is hard for coaches. Now moving on to our JV girls. Most improved. To be honest with you, I was putting jerseys on the stage, and 2 girls came to me, and they said, Brother Moore, what do I got to do to make the team? And I gave them the normal answer, yada, 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 yada. And in my mind, I thought, we're pretty set. But these girls came, and not only did they make the team, but they made an impact on our team. And our most improved girl on the JV team, this young lady, I'm not sure she's ever played basketball before, and I think she started in our 3rd place game this year. So give it up for Miss Kinsley Howard, most improved. Mustang Leadership Award is a little bit different for every team. But for this team, when I say Mustang Leadership, what I mean is this is our Christian Character Award winner. And so whether she played, whether she didn't play, whether she played well, whether she played poorly, whether we were working hard in practice, she always was the same. Our Mustang Leadership, Miss Avery Bennett. Come on down, Avery. Now moving on to we have our Offensive Player of the Year and our Defensive Player of the Year. And this young lady played middle school and JV. I could have very easily given her an award for middle school, but just thought I'll take the opportunity to give her a JV award. But this girl she was our stopper in the lane. We put a lot of pressure on one end. The middle part of the floor, we got beat sometimes, and Sadie Bell was standing right in the lane waiting for them when they came into us, and that helped us out. Our Defensive Player of the Year, Miss Sadie Bell. Come on down. And our Offensive Player of the Year, and this girl has been playing with us for 2 or 3 years now, and I appreciate her spirit. Her and I have a great relationship. She works hard at it, but she was probably, and I would say this is an honest to God, she was our best offensive player. And so may give it up for Miss Jacqueline Hilburn. Come on, Miss Jacqueline. All right, if I could, let's have Brother Sam Barker, could you come up and help me with our JV boys? Again, I'm doing pretty well on time. I got 3 minutes for all these awards. And so let's start, first of all, with our most improved. So sometimes my most improved is from the end of last season to the beginning of this season. How much improvement did you make over the summer? How much time did you work in the off season? This most improved award is from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And for those of you that watched our JV games, we played a lot of bodies. We played 5 in and 5 out. Very few kids played substantial minutes, over half. But this young man really came on at the end of the season. His scoring, when I say hitting threes, big threes in the game. And really, he wasn't on my offensive radar at the beginning of the season. But by the end of the season, he was. And so I praise the Lord for that. Most improved, Jackson McVeigh. Come on down, Jackson. The next award that I'm going to give out, and appreciate it, Jackson, see, Brother Sam, the next award I'm going to give out is our Defensive Player of the Year. Again, there's several layers of defense. There's our on-ball defense. We have certain people that can just stay in front of the defender or stay in front of their offensive player. Just stay in front. That's a big part of it. And then like Sadie Bell, there's a help defense. She's just in the lane. She's ready to stop people once they've beat us. But the last layer of defense, in my opinion, is rebounding. We've got to secure the basketball, rebound it, outlet, so we can go play offense. And this young man really came on. There was times in the season where I turned around and looked at my bench and said, there's a man right there, because he was playing so incredibly strong. And so let's give it up for Mr. Grady Shiflett, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year, we put the ball in this guy's hands. And so he has an ability to shoot. He has the ability to drive to the basket. And that puts a defense at a disadvantage, because if he can't shoot, then they're going to come out. They're going to stay in the lane and not let him drive. If he can drive but he can't shoot, they're going to play him differently. But this young man is able to get to the basket. He's able to pull up and shoot. So if they go under the screen, he's shooting. If they go over the screen, he's going to the basket. That's a tough guard. And so let's give it up. Offensive Player of the Year, Austin Haig. Okay? And for this team, our Mustang leadership means something different. For this team, our Mustang leadership is our MVP and our Christian character combined. And I want you to know that this young man was by far our vocal leader, our spiritual leader, on and off the court, never saw anything that caused concern. And then he's a shooter. He put the ball in the basket. There was one point in the season where he was more than 33% from the three-point line for the season. And if you know anything about percentages, if you can shoot 33%, you're going to be able to shoot the ball pretty much anytime you want to, and so he did. So our Mustang leadership, but for the purpose of this is this year's MVP and Christian character combined. Give it up for Matthew Coghill. Congratulations, I appreciate him. Now, at this time, we're going, and these coaches really don't know who's on deck, so maybe I need to do a better job. But at this time, if I could get Brother Dalton to come up for JV basketball. Is Brother Dalton here? Dalton Gaskins, is he in the house? Baseball, JV baseball, okay? And so he has no idea the order, so I'll make sure to change this. Then after JV baseball, we're going to go right into hunter safety, guys. And so if you hunter safety guys, Mr. Bell, you want to join these guys. So after we do JV baseball, we'll do hunter safety.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hey, everyone. This year JV baseball had a little bit of different year than last year. This turned out to be more of a building year. last year I kind of had a core group that I'd probably been coaching for the last 5 or 6 years, from the New Life Majors Little League team right on through the start of the JV. We had a couple move up to varsity, and then we had a number just didn't return. So we ended up with just having about 4 returning players and having to pick up 10 new players. So we ended up with a pretty young team. So I guess you would have called this a building year, and I was at a bit of a disadvantage because a lot of these kids I hadn't seen them play at all before. And fortunately for me, we had Brother Josh Purvis and Michael Riggs join us. Coach Purvis and Coach Riggs, they came in and helped me coach through the year. And fortunately, they were the ones that have kind of been with this newer group coming up. So they had the inside track on really helping me figure out positions and getting them developed. And so that's what most of it was getting a lot of our 7th and 8th grade newer players accustomed to playing on the larger field, just a lot of the fundamentals that need to work to be able to play at those distances. So we had a few tough losses, had a couple of good wins, and the tough losses, we knew early on you could tell instantly why we lost the game. Where I knew that we had kind of built something and achieved something at the end, we had a couple of they were still losses, but they were really close. I mean, like one run at the bottom of the 7th, and Coach Moore would come up to me at the end and say, "Well, hey, what cost you the game? What was your?" And I was like, "I don't know." They did exactly with that group of boys at that age. I couldn't have asked for them to play any better. They stayed positive. They were in the game. You just lose some games. So that was kind of how the season went, but we got a lot stronger and really started building something to move into next year, and just continuing the effort to provide players ready for varsity baseball. All right, so I guess we'll start out with our awards. Our first award we'll do is Most Improved. Our Most Improved goes to one of our newer players that we brought in. Wasn't really sure where he would end up out in the field with a couple of other ones, but once we found a couple of spots for him, man, he really started picking up. Whenever we were going over plays or fundamentals, he was always listening, became very sharp on the bases, and just continued to improve right through the end of the season. Our Most Improved goes to Oliver Seligman. I had no chance with that 3-minute timer. Sorry. Must be some cookies that are supposed to come out or something. Anyway, all right, so moving on. The next award we'll do is our Mustang Leadership, and this is the player, as I said, that just really embodies the Christian character. But when we're playing, that's a player that is always positive, is not negative, that's always in the game. They're in tune with what's going on in the game, whether in the field or in the dugout. And that's exactly what this player was. He was always spiritually a leader for us. He was always the first to volunteer to pray for the team before or after a game. And pound for pound probably hits the ball the hardest I've ever seen of kids that I've coached. He can flat out hit it. But, aside from that, he's just a great all-around player, always a good attitude. Our Mustang Leadership goes to Parker Mills. Okay, our Offensive Player of the Year goes to a player, I think I probably first coached him when he was about 5 or 6, when he and Dawson started in rookie ball with the old dreaded pitching machine. Then we kind of got away, and then finally he had a little hiatus, and he came back and started playing with us again this year. And he's always been he's an athlete, but particularly on offense, he's a good aggressive hitter. I've always been a fan of see what the pitcher can do, take until you get a first strike. He was not a fan of that philosophy at all. He let the bat go. He put the ball in play a lot, and once he got on the bases, he was very aggressive at getting around. So he crossed the plate a lot of times for us. Our Offensive Player of the Year goes to Austin Haig. Our Defense Player of the Year. Once again, I've been working with him since we started with the New Life program, so this is probably about 6 or 7 years working with him. So anyway, our defensive player of the year, he's just a solid all-around player, good attitude. He's also a good leader, leads in a lot, always letting the stretch and getting the practice started and all. In the field, you put him anywhere. He was a good player just about anywhere you put him. Started pitching for us and really developed to be a better pitcher. So, and just one of our favorite players. And anytime he wasn't there, you could just tell it wasn't the same. So our defensive player of the year goes to Carter Casey. Good job. Thank you, gentlemen. Sure.
Brother Bill, come on up. Can you give that to him? We'll get your trophies ready. Okay?
Thank you so much. Hey guys, how y'all doing? You doing good, Holden? Anyway, appreciate you guys coming out. Another successful year. This was our 4th year with our hunter safety team, and nobody got shot again, so I'd consider that a success. Anyway, I'm gonna make this super quick. A little bit more adversity this year, some weather issues, some issues at our shooting range, some gun malfunctions at our competition. Anyway, I won't speak a whole lot on that, but just an honor again to be a part of such an awesome group of kids and parents. We have a lot of fun fellowship at practice. I think it's a little bit different than other sports, but I'm a little partial. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start with some awards. We have two teams, a junior team and a senior team. I'm gonna start off with our junior team. Most Improved Award goes to a young lady who came out. It was her first year, and she just kept getting better and better. She did anything we asked her to do. Picked up stuff she really hadn't shot before. Her dad probably spent a lot of money, her mom and dad, that they didn't really want to spend too, and we appreciate that. Anyway, without further ado, Shelby English, Most Improved. I'm going to get into our Mustang Leadership Award. This is a kid who's been with us since he was old enough to be out there. Awesome kid to be around, awesome parents. Every year he just keeps getting better and better. This year was no doubt the same. He's one of those kids where we have a lot of cleanup after practice, and this year, man, he just jumped right in. He was definitely a leader on our junior team, and we really appreciate him. Palmer Greer. Going to go into our MVP for our junior team this year. This young lady put up our best scores again at our district competition. She's pretty fierce. She gets it from her mama, but she always comes through in the clutch. Sadie Bell, MVP. Moving on to our senior team, Most Improved. Once again, this was his first year joining us. Dalton and I actually coached him in baseball one year. I saw he had a camo hat. I was like, I need this kid on our hunter safety team, so you need to come on out. And he finally did. Once again, every practice did whatever we asked him to do, started shooting a bow, never shot it before. Most Improved, Beckham Ruffin. I'm going to go ahead and do MVP first on our senior team. MVP, this year, this kid's been shooting with us since we started our hunter safety team. Always a pleasure to be around. Gets better and better every year, and something clicked this year, and he put up the best scores he's ever put up by far. Couldn't be more proud of this kid. Dylan Hancock. Saved this one for last. Pretty special kid. Fun to have at practice. His first year. Definitely has a few challenges and adversities, but if you've been around him, you love him. He's a light for Christ all the time, no matter what the situation. If you know this kid, you know it's true. Our Mustang leadership for our senior team goes to Malcolm Pounders. You're the man. Malcolm.
Very Very good. Okay, let's give our hunter safety guys a big hand. We appreciate that. At this time, we have, let me see here. Let's do this. We're going to go to golf. So if Mr. J would come down, golf. But before, listen to this, before I do that, I paid a substantial amount of money to get 2 trophies overnighted. I would tell you, but Pastor Scott's sitting back there, and I don't want him to know how much I spent. And guess what? They'll be here tomorrow. So we have 2 trophies, and then they went and added 1. The other 2 will be here tomorrow. We still want you to come up and get your picture, okay?
All right, thank you. We had another great golf season. We played some great courses. We managed to add 6 teams to the conference this year, so we had a lot of new competition and just had a great time with it. I want to thank my assistants, Dr. Kenneth Zirkle and Miss Kate Graham, for all their help. I could not have done this without their help. Thank you very much. In our final tournament, we ended up taking 3rd place, which was good out of 11 teams, but more importantly, for the 2nd year in a row, our kids won the Christian Testimony Award, and that just goes to show their Christian character on and off the course. So congratulations to them for that. We'll start with most improved. It's a young man who came to the team last year and worked his way through and improved through that year and made it up to the competition squad this year, and was pretty much up on the leaderboard all the time. Our most improved is Mr. Rylan Voidlock. Our MVPs this year, we got 2. We have no offense and defense, obviously, so we have 2 MVPs. Our first one is a young lady who's been with me for 5 years now, I believe, and started out, was probably the shyest person I've ever seen in my life, and really didn't want to get out on the course to begin with, but she's become a really great golfer and a really great young lady. First MVP is Miss Chloe Banks. Our second MVP is a young man who's been, I think this is his 4th year with the team. And last year in 8th grade, I moved him up to the number 1 spot, and he was competing with 12th graders in 8th grade and held his own and really thrived on that competition. He was almost up at the top of the leaderboard almost every round we played this year. Our next MVP is Mr. Cade Voidlock. Now we'll do our Mustang Leadership Award. This young lady's been with me for 6 years now, as long as I've been coaching. She's been a leader the entire time, and this year she was our team captain. She just showed those leadership qualities, those Christian qualities, honesty, integrity, and fellowship throughout the year, throughout all the years that she's played. And in addition to that, she was our low scorer for our final tournament. And our Mustang Leadership Award goes to Miss Kathy Diane Graham. Congratulations.
And so Mr. J is going to also give her a plaque. So it says this year's lowest score. Does that mean she had the lowest score in the whole conference for the final tournament? So let's give her a big hand. In golf, you want to get the lowest score, okay? So congratulations to Ms. KD, okay? At this time, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we do a coach's spotlight every year. And so I'm just going to read a bio, and then when she comes up, she'll get her little gift, and then she'll come here and do her teams, okay? Coach's Spotlight, 2026, Miss Barbara Gummert. Both Barbara and Corey Gummert have served faithfully in various ministries within our church. Barbara serves in our nursery once a month. She teaches a junior church twice a month. She's always willing to lend a helping hand wherever it is she is in need. She has a servant's heart that is evident Barbara began her journey at New Bern Christian in 2013. During her first year, she taught high school Spanish and study hall. Then she transitioned to the second grade for 1 year before stepping into her current role as a fourth grade teacher. In this position, she has faithfully taught, mentored, and led her students year after year, making a lasting impact on each life she touches. In addition to her classroom dedication, Barbara has invested deeply in our athletic program. She has coached girls soccer. She has also poured into players both on and off the field. In 2019, she began coaching cheerleading at New Bern Christian Academy. Under her leadership, the program has grown tremendously, from a single team to 3 thriving teams, a junior varsity, a varsity, and then a competition squad. Her commitment, her passion, her countless hours of hard work has helped lead our cheerleading program into incredible success, including 3 national championships, 23, 25, and 26. And she doesn't like to say this, but we're going to say this, the 2026 National Coach of the Year. Give it up for Miss Barbara Grummert. If you were taught by Miss Grummert in the 4th grade, would you stand up, please? If you were taught by Miss Grummert in the 4th grade, would you stand up? Let's give her a big hand. And come on over, Gracie. We're going to give her a Letterman's jacket. It's got patches on here for Coach of the Year for national championships. So let's give Miss Barbara a big hand. We've got her all crying and teary-eyed now. So she's not, Miss Grummert, are you willing to stay here now and do your awards while we have you up here? Save a little bit of time, okay?
Can I borrow your list? Because I left my phone over there. Sure. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if you'll just take that and then the next.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, thanks. Whew. All right. I have 3 minutes for 3 teams. No, I'm joking. It's a lot easier to get up in front of 10-year-olds every day and talk instead of speaking in front of adults. So if I stutter, that's why. I never thought I would be a cheer coach. And I joke with them all the time and I say, well, I must have prayed for patience. And he said, here, be a cheer coach. Because having 33 young girls all the time around me is insane. But they make me a better person. And I love them. And my guys, I love them. It is really hard to choose in cheer these specific awards because, as I told Mr. Dan, he's like, oh, well, all you gotta do is pick out that shining star, that one person that stands out. Well, in cheerleading, if you stand out, that means you did wrong. So it's really hard for us to choose these awards based on that. But I'm gonna get started, and I'm gonna try to go pretty quick on this. Which one are we starting with? The JV. Okay. So on JV sideline cheer, for our most outstanding athlete, she came in like a force to be reckoned with. We knew she would. She had always hung out with us. She had always been at every practice. And she made sure that the JV squad was always doing what they were supposed to. And she always pushed herself to do better than anybody else. And I'm so proud of her. And that's Miss Kelsey Anderson. Yeah. Yes. All right, our Mustang Leadership Award. This goes to a young lady who is, I have to say, the most fearless child I have ever met. If we said we're going to throw you 10 foot in the air, she's like, okay, but I can do 15. She is fearless, she is strong, and that's Miss Chloe Mize. You got to hug me. No, I'm not. And our most improved, when this child actually tried out, we were like, oh, she's good, but she doesn't open her mouth. What are we going to do? A cheerleader's got to be loud. Well, she totally surprised us. And by the end of the year, she was our loudest. She just tried so hard, and her skills improved so much, and that's Emily Grace Orman. I'm so proud of you. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our varsity. Our MVP, or most outstanding athlete, goes to Liliana Jacobo, who I could say 1,000 things about her. I just love her, and I can't believe she's a senior. So, our Mustang Leadership Award, this child makes sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be. Every item is carried to the bus. Everything is right in a row, and I never had to worry about anything because Miss Zoe Reyes had it down, and I am so proud of her. Where's my Mustang? Zoe, where are you? She was my boss. All right, and our most improved, she came up with more cheers than anybody else. She was always willing to learn whatever she needed to, and that is Miss Stella Meadows.
Call your national champions up to the thing right now.
When I do it? Okay. All right. I love you. All right, and now I'm going to get to my competition squad. If you were on my top competition squad, I need you to come right over here. National champions. I just want to say one thing about my national team here. The week before we went to nationals, one of my cheerleaders tore her ACL. And so for a week to pass and us have to come up with a new person and a new routine and new everything, I am so impressed with all of these ladies and gentlemen because they stepped up, and not only did they learn what they needed to learn, but then they took the national championship, and I'm so proud of them.
That is for Abby, so give a little love to Abby, and I'll give that to her.
Okay. While they're doing that, I will cry, but just breathe with me for just a second. There is nothing that I can do here without the person that is standing beside me. And I want to give you this from the school and from us with our national championship. A lot of times, she doesn't get up and speak in front of anybody. She makes me do it. But every great thing that I have made a decision on, it's because she told me to make that decision.
No, it's not.
and I'm so proud to have her with me, and I'm so thankful for having her. All right, now our 3-4 competition squad. Most outstanding. Don't get in this girl's way. She is a princess. She is amazing, but she is a princess. And she rules the house, and I love her, and I can't imagine doing it without her, and that's Miss Melody Romero. Oh. I love you. Okay, can you go ahead and open that too? When you get a chance? Yeah, because I got to take it out. And then Mustang Leadership Award. This young lady was probably one of the younger ones on the team, but she always made sure that everybody had what they needed and everybody was moving in the right direction, and she just calmed me. She is like peace, and that is Miss Juliana Hodges. Yeah, I love you. And my most improved. This young lady has a very intense fear of heights, but she's also one of the littler ones. So obviously we're going to throw her in the air. And of course, she was so nervous, but all year long, she's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And each step of the way, she just improved and just fought and was courageous, and I'm so proud of her. And that is Miss Olivia Caraway. I have one more award. Sorry. Like I said, to pick one person out of a team based on being better than anybody, that's not possible in cheer, because if you're standing out, you're the one making a mistake. But there is an award I'd like to give out, and it's my Diamond Award. And it's to the cheerleader. It's to the cheerleader that shined like a diamond. She not only helped coach JV, she coached varsity and comp, and she was always there to help. And I've coached her since she was in the 8th grade. And I love her so much, and I hate that she's a senior. But our diamond this year is Miss Liliana Jacobo. Okay, here, this is your box that it goes in. I'm done. I'm sorry. Lots of tears.
And at this time, we're going to ask our cross-country coach, Miss Anna, to come up with our young ladies. At this time, cross-country. And then after that, Mr. Doug, Brother Doug Griebling is going to come up. And when Mr. Doug comes up, I want our inaugural tennis girls team to come up and get their picture taken, okay? At this time, Miss Anna.
All right, we coached cross country a little different this year. Sam Barker had the boys, and I had the girls. We had a small group of girls, but a powerful group of girls, and they all ran really good. So it was hard to pick just a few for an award here at the end of the season. I would love to be able to give each one of them something. The championship race showed how hard these ladies worked this year. Auburn Johnson, Shelby English, Madeline Perry, and Bailey Gouge all placed as individuals. And as a school, the middle school girls placed second, and the high school girls actually placed third. As hard as it was to decide on this year's end awards, Auburn Johnson is going to get the most improved. She just finished running her second year with us, and she's only in middle school, but and has plenty of time to get stronger, but her improvement from last year to this year was amazing. So for most improved, Auburn Johnson. Oh. Most improved. Most improved. My Mustang Leadership Award goes to our senior runner, Madeline Perry. As the oldest of the girls, she really was a great leader to the team, and we will all miss her, but we wish her the best as she continues her education after she graduates. So if she's here tonight, our Mustang leadership is Madeline Perry. I don't think she's here tonight. And I came up with one more award that really only fits running, and it's called Mental Toughness. And I'm going to give that to Shelby English this year. She's new to the team, but she really does understand that running is about 10% physical and 90% mental. And she would push through just about anything to continue running. And I was really proud of her, and she was a joy to have on our team this year. Thank you for letting me serve as the cross-country coach, and we look forward to next season.
All right, thank you. Congratulations to our cross-country teams. At this time, Mr. Doug Greeley, come on up. And if you are a part of our inaugural ladies tennis team, would you come up at this time? We want to make sure to get this documented. So all of our girls who played fall tennis, would you come up at this time and get a picture?
Yeah, I'd like to have Kate Graham come up. I'm Doug Griebling, and this is Kate Graham. We were co-coaching the team this year, and we are the new sport in town. Never had a tennis team before, and this year we decided that we'd try to start a team, and we had 16 girls come out for the inaugural team, and those girls stuck it out through the entire year. We were able to play 4 matches, and everyone on the team, there were 6th graders through 12th grade, everyone on the team got to play at least in 1 match, if not more. So what we were trying to do is develop a team for the future, but we did have at least 4 seniors actually on the tennis team, and They did very well. And we played schools such as Oakwood Academy, Epiphany, Wilmington, and Christ Covenant. So many of those schools had tennis teams for quite a while, so we were just the newbies, but we did quite well. The girls did. I think Kate and I were both impressed by the progress they actually made this year. And with that, we would like to start the awards. We're going to do 4 awards. We're going to have the Mustang Leadership Award first. And that award goes to a young lady that was very instrumental on leading our team and actually many times she was the one that started the match off by the bringing together the girls in the group and just gave emphasis on the necessary effort that needed to be done. So with that, one of our seniors, and it's Liliana Jacob. Congratulations. The next young lady, an 8th grader, is our most improved, and she did an amazing job. Coach Kate and I were really impressed with her, the progress that she made, and that is Sadie Bell. Congratulations. Okay, we don't really have an offensive player, a defensive player, but we did decide to go ahead and do that. Our defensive player is return of serve, because we don't really have defense, but we have to be able to return to serve and do the forehand, the ground strokes. And we feel that this lady did the best job in improving this year, and she is also a senior. It's Sonia Kruger. And by the way, I had Sonia when she was in the 4th grade in upward soccer, believe it or not. And for our offensive player of the year, and we're looking at the person that did the best serving, that sort of thing. And she actually won a serve contest that we had one day. We tried to see who could get the most serves in out of 10. And she was able to do it, and she did an excellent job throughout the year with serving. And that is Katie Graham. Congratulations. So that's it. We're looking forward to this coming year. We've got a good development of individuals coming back, but we do want to get the boys started too. We tried to do it this spring, but we were only able to come up with 5 boys that were willing to play, so it wasn't quite enough for a team. We need at least 7 or 8. So we'd love to have some of the boys come out in the spring to be able to get a boys team going as well. So thank you very much.
And I do want you to remember now, seriously, we want a tennis team. We want a boys' tennis team. We want people who's going to take it seriously. So if you're interested in that, we're going to come back to you again next year, okay? It's time for us to get into our varsity, some of our varsity. Some of this has been co-ed and different things, but this is now we're getting right into our varsity sports. And so if you are on our 2025 Women's Volleyball Championship team, would you make your way up at this time? And what we're going to do is, Pastor Scott and I talked, and since many of these girls played, we have a shirt that says Double Trouble, and we celebrate our volleyball and our basketball team on the same shirt. And so if you're on the volleyball team, come on down. Coach Sam's going to give you a shirt if we can quickly. And so this is our volleyball. So Sam, if you want to go ahead and pass them out. Pastor Scott, is he close by? And Pastor Scott, it is time for you to give your volleyball awards. So girls, if you guys would just come here and Coach Sam will give you your shirt. Just tell them what size you need.
All right, let's give these girls a hand. Championship. So I've had the privilege of being their coach now for several years. Our girls volleyball program has been trending in the right direction for a long time. We played in our conference championship every year going all the way back to 2021. And so we have become a staple in our conference. We've had some great opponents even throughout the state. And we won in 21, and then we finally broke through again this year and won the championship. So I'm very, very proud of them, and I love being their coach. So let me give you our awards, and I'm looking at the clock back there to try to give us some time back. We'll give away 4 awards: the most offensive, defensive, most improved, and then the Mustang Leadership Award. And then we'll do the one shining moment now. Coach Moore? Okay. All right. Will you describe what that is, and then I'll give that? Okay, we'll do that once I get to the end of these, okay? Most offensive. I have loved watching this young lady play volleyball for a long time. I have coached her practically all of her volleyball career. I'm going to deeply miss coaching her and her spirit and her drama and her smile and her tears and all of the things that come with coaching a really great athlete, which is what she has certainly become in so many sports. I'm proud of the great young lady she is. She is a leader, from her serving to her hitting to her setting to her pushing to her defense to her digs to her cheering. It doesn't matter. That offensively, this was somebody that every team had to reckon with, and we are certainly proud to have coached her, and we're proud that our most offensive player this year is Miss Jamie Lavoie. Our defensive player of the year this year could also have been in the running for offensive player of the year. She was a problem for the other team on both sides of the net. But from a defensive standpoint, she was a stopper. Teams knew when they walked in the gym, not just because of her stature, but because of her jumping ability, because of her timing, and then because of power and because of instinct, she has become a tremendous, not just defensive player at the net, but also this year she actually got to play some back row, which was a big step for her. She has been such a great asset to our team, and our defensive player of the year this year is Miss Allie Anderson. Our most improved could have gone to a number of girls. We had so many girls do so very, very well and improved so much throughout the season. But this one really, from beginning to end in this season, did a great job. And when we needed her the most, I feel like she started playing her best volleyball. When we went to the tournament this year, we had to actually change her position because of some of the changes in our team going into the tournament, and she took them like a champ. It was a position she was comfortable with. We made her the libero. Last year, if I'm being honest, I was a little afraid of the ball being hit to her, but this year, when the ball got hit in her direction, we were okay with it, and she showed up with some incredible digs that really helped us win a championship. So our most improved is Miss Bella Lawrence. Our Mustang Leadership Award is also, as Coach Moore said, in some ways can be an MVP, in some ways it can be a Christian character. But this young lady was somebody that when the game got tougher, she seemed to steady. She seemed to be one that would steady our team. When we needed a serve over, this was the person that I really wanted at the service line. When we needed somebody to make the right decision, she seemed to undoubtedly make that right decision. And I'm so proud of her for her leadership, Christian character, and her perseverance. And I love her deeply. Mustang Leadership Award is Caden Coghill.
And very quickly, we've added an award in the last couple of years. We only give it to teams who win championships. How many of you watched the NCAA tournament? When it's all over, you stay up late for one reason. You want to see the One Shining Moment song with all the highlights, right? So we call this a One Shining Moment, and the purpose of it is there was a defining moment in the tournament, maybe a defining moment on our trip to the tournament, but somewhere along the way, this is an award just for somebody who had a defining moment somewhere along the path to a championship.
So this young lady showed up in summer workouts, and we knew she was talented. We knew she was going to add so much to our team. But then as the season went on, she struggled with a few things off and on, like getting her serve in and syncing up her spikes, which were so good, and then getting used to playing with the new team. It took a little bit of time. But the best game, she played great all season, but the best game she played all season was the championship game. It catapulted her into an all-tournament selection, and we have been thrilled to have her as a Mustang this year. So our One Shining Moment Award goes to Miss Susan Williams.
Congratulations, bud. Very good. Congratulations. Now, let's see here. Pastor Moses, can you put 1 minute on the clock? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, come on, Pastor Moses. Pastor Moses coached our boys soccer program. We appreciate all his work. And at this time, he's going to come up and he's going to talk to us about boys soccer.
I'm going to go as fast as I can, but I'm the only one who had to start their own clock. All right. So this year's boys season, there was a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and these boys could tell you that we went from times of laughing around and just cutting up to times of very intense criticism and shouting. And then it didn't help that on the sideline you had two very passionate coaches that at times were yelling at each other, but it's all right. With all that, I want to get to these awards quickly. There are certain players that in key moments just made great impacts, and if you watch the games, there were plenty of times where we just had to rotate players on the field because of different needs that we needed that game. And this player gets our offensive MVP award because of his ability to score the ball. I believe this year he finished as our leading scorer, but also he's the player that times would drive me so crazy. And there were times where I would tell him, why didn't you run for that ball? My 4-year-old daughter can get that ball better than you. And, encouragement from a coach. But our offensive MVP goes to Mr. Gavin Odom. Our most improved award goes to a player who, at the beginning of the season, just really kind of struggled. This was his first year playing with us. He struggled a little bit and actually improved into moments of the starting lineup. But at first, one of the main reasons we kept him is because he was willing to run and he was willing to hit people. And it was, look, sometimes the ref's not looking. You got to do what you got to do, right? And as the year progressed, he just continued to use his body well, at times getting hit in the face and other things, and just kept on finishing the play. Our most improved player is Mr. Jordan Viveros. Our next award is our defensive award. This player is a player that played offense, played defense. Throughout the year, we kind of moved him up along the field, but we kept pulling him back at times because of his ability to play defense. He was a big part of a lot that we did, and he also is very high rung with passion, very high rung with emotion. And at times, I was yelling at him from the field, and it felt like he was yelling back at me from the field. And I'd pull him off the field and be like, "I'm so sorry, coach." And I was like, "You should be." But anyway, our defensive player of the year is Mr. Aiden Madison. And I'm going to go quickly into this next one with the time. This next one is our Mustang Leadership Award, who was a player that game in and game out. He led. We asked him to leave everything on the line, and at times he even left skin and blood on the field. This player this year was special to us because he was a senior, and almost every single game he played with his heart in his hands and on the field, and just went all the way through. And Mr. Aiden John Haig.
All right, very good. We're going to take some time on this one. If I could get our young ladies who were 32-0 to come on up to the thing. Coach Romero, if you and your staff would come on up. If you did not get, go ahead and get your picture first, and then if you did not get a shirt during volleyball, please stop and see Coach Sam after the picture, and then Coach Romero, if you would come up, and his staff, and we're going to give them their awards at this time.
Can you give that to him, please, when he comes up?
Well, it didn't seem like that long ago I was up here. I remember the last thing I said last year. Does anybody remember what I said last year, the very last thing? What'd I say, girls? I promised, I didn't say that. I promised we would not lose the last game of the season. What I didn't know is that we wouldn't lose any games of the season. So the girls did really good. Before I recognize the girls, I want to recognize all the pieces and parts it takes to go 32-0. First, you got to have some blessings, right? The first in 2023, we had an illness. Jamie got ill after we won the first game, had a really good chance of pulling it out there. Last year, KK blew her ankle out just before the tournament. We won the first game with her injured, probably had a good chance to pull it out there, made it to the finals, had a lead. So we talked early in the season that, hey, we need to pray as much as we can that we have no illness or injury. And, we do a scripture rotation for every practice, for every game, and we pray before every game. And the one thing we ask for is favor, no illness or no injury. And all season we had one illness. I think Charlie missed a game for an illness. And we did have a beat-up player, but she played. The other thing, coaching staff. All right, Jason, I've said it every year. If you knew the level of game film work that he does compared to the level of game film work that I do, which is like on the negative scale, and the hours that he spends figuring out what the coach's tendencies are, what the other players' tendencies are, these are the types of things it takes to win this many games. And then bringing Scott in, Scott and I have coached together so long, we're like an old married couple. We finish each other's sentences. So he knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking. He has a way of expressing his passion when he doesn't think I'm doing the right thing. And I do kind of the same thing with him, maybe a little bit nicer scale, but still, sometimes I need that. And Dan, look, the schedule was perfect. The way it was lined up, you get Teach right off the get. They weren't as good this year as they have been past, but it's always a good test to play Wilmington Christian in December and beat them, and then to play them again in an overtime game just before you go to the tournament. It was genius. He told me that he had it lined up that way, the way he takes care of the gear, the gym, the travel, timing everything, making sure the girls get plenty of rest before they go. Everything that he does really helps. And then adding Lynn to the scorers table to get real-time data analytics of what's going on in the game when you're trying to manage a game, to make adjustments, to win ball games is priceless. Plus, she also has a tendency to coach the coach, and if you want to know about that, you can ask me after this. And then lastly, I've been doing this a long time. Scott and I have been doing it a long time. Years ago, I coached a travel ball team in South Carolina. Really good kids, great team. I had the best players, but they had no parents. And when I say they had no parents, the mom worked and the dad was non-existent, and Kim and I pretty much raised those kids. when we came here, I said, hey, I'm going to draft parents, right? When I had my travel ball team here. And the parents of these girls, if you knew what is in their hearts, they're very special kids. They love the Lord, they love their team, and they love to win. And those three things is how you get to 32-0. All right, let's get down to the awards. My offensive player, she scored 557 points in a season. Now, you would say, oh, okay, well, we're just running everything through that player. No, we have a system, and the system involves her giving the ball up early, right? What it is, it's a nose for the ball. She can see it. She knows where it is. A lot of defensive steals and scoring. Just a really good high basketball IQ, and that is for Cam. I need 5 extra awards, by the way. Defensive award. This girl had 8.2 rebounds per game. She averaged over a block per game, and could also, same with volleyball, could also be offensive. She was second in scoring. And it goes to Allie Anderson. Allie, stay up here. I'll just go ahead and go to this since you're up here. Just stay here. The pivotal moment, or what's it called? One shining moment. Look, these girls are such a team unit that it's really hard to pick that. But if we're talking about winning a championship in the final game, we could go with who scored the most points, all the list of things. But I talked about illness and injury and heart and being a winning attitude. She shouldn't have played the last game. She was beat up. She could hardly walk. And if she would have came to me and said, Coach, I can't play, and her parents would have came to me and said, I can't play, I would have said, okay, I understand. I mean, she was physically injured, and she played. She doesn't play, we might win. I say 50-50. She plays at 50%. Just her being out there, sticking her arms in the air, being in the way, imposes her will upon the other team and makes them nervous. If she's on the bench, it gives them hope. So to play injured, that's the heart of a champion. Thanks, Allie. For you. Most improved player. I think we had a Saturday practice. I had 2 players show up for that Saturday practice. It was a not voluntary Saturday practice. She stayed late. She told me she wanted to be good. She was dedicated. She may have missed a practice, but we talked about that. I look forward to coaching her again next year. Whenever she can separate herself between practice and the game, and she plays like she practices, you're not going to believe how good she is. And goes to Charlie Settle. All right, the last person leads our scripture list is the captain. Calls the inbounds plays. Make sure we're set up on offense. Make sure we're set up on defense. Has a candid Cog Hill way of telling me what's going on the floor whenever I don't quite see what's going on the floor. And that goes to Caden Coghill. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Okay, you want me to do that? Yeah. Okay. All right, and this year we also had 2 1,000-point earners. And first was Jamie Lavoie. She had a couple teams picking on her, too, and wouldn't let her get over 1,000 points, but she took care of it. And then this girl got her 1,000 points in the overtime game. And, we already had a lot of pressure on her for getting 1,000 points, and then she knew we had a tough game that night, and that goes to Allie Anderson. Is that it, Dan?
All right, now for varsity boys basketball. We're coming down the home stretch. This season was a roller coaster, to say the least. It was one of the most unique seasons that we've had. But at the end of the day, I will say that because of things that we had to navigate through together, I will tell you that hopefully they can say, because I can say I'm the better because of it. And these young men worked hard. When you lose 11 of 13 players coming into the next season, the season is daunting. And 9 of them seniors. And so this was going to be an uphill climb for us, and yet I would tell you that we had some young men of character that climbed all the way until the end of the season. And I am very proud of them. And we finished above 500, which was a huge task for us. We played on Saturday in our conference tournament, which was, again, a goal for us, and so very thankful for them. Let me give these awards really quick. Most offensive. Naturally, this one goes to the young man that's got the basketball in his hands. And yet it was more than just being a point guard. He actually has developed a little bit of a shot that shows up from time to time, right? He worked on his right hand, but he was very strong at the basket, and he just commanded things on the floor. And when we needed a basket, if we needed a bucket, if we needed somebody to have confidence in with the ball in his hands, this was the guy. So our most offensive player, or our offensive player of the year, rather, is Mr. Gavin Odom. Our defensive player of the year, this young man still has things to work on defensively, like don't give up baseline. That is a principle that we operate by. But defense is about protecting the rim. Defense is about reading passing lanes. Defense is about securing the basketball with the rebounder. And this young man did this better than anybody else on our team, and did it far more consistent. His natural length, his instincts to jump, it really helped us defensively. And I'm proud of him, and I appreciate him. Our defensive player of the year is Mr. Noah Bell. All right, our most improved. I'm as shocked as you are when I give you this name, because this guy's a volleyball player. And yet, he tried out on day 2, and he tried out just because he likes hanging out. He tried out because you make a ton of memories on the road. But he's such a good athlete that as the season went on, we saw something. And we saw not only just a good athlete, but we actually see a basketball player in there. By the end of the year, we had confidence. I had more confidence with the ball in his hands, and I think he had confidence with the ball in his own hands. But I was so proud of his spirit. I was so proud of his tenacity, and he was a true asset to our team down the stretch. Our most improved is Mr. Aiden Madison. And then our last award is our Mustang Leadership Award. This young man, if I were to describe him in one way, he's all heart. We've known that every single second that we've seen him play any sport. And if I've ever seen a player, as a fan, if I've ever coached a player that I knew at the end of every game, he was going to leave it all on the floor, it was this young man. And because of that, because of his character, because of his spirit, he was such a great leader for us, too. Our Mustang leadership goes to Aiden Haig.
Can I call you back at the very end to do these, if you'll just be thinking about that?
Congratulations. Good job. At this time, Pastor Moses is going to come up, do girls soccer, then boys volleyballs after that, girls softballs after that, boys baseballs after that. 4 Mustang of the Year awards, and we're finished. Amen? We're doing well on time.
That's it. That's all that's happening. All right. So if you watched our girls' soccer team this year, you know that we had many close games. You also know that While we had decent girls coming back, we didn't know how we're going to fill out a whole roster. And for a little while there, it looks like we were only going to have 9 girls. And we're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We ended up with 15 or 16 and several of them that hadn't played before. And it was one of those, at the beginning of the season, we looked at what we had and we said we're going to go put our best foot forward. But, this is one of those rebuilding, training, figuring things out years. And man, what a season! The way the season ended was a very back and forth game, very close game, and as disappointing it was to lose that game, it was really encouraging to see how much the team grew from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I'm going to give out these awards quickly as time is running. This first award is our defensive MVP. Goes to a girl who 100% put her body on the line every single game. Her jersey at the end of the game, was always the dirtiest jersey. I had to tell her at one point, not every play is a hustle play. And that's just a mentality she had. And she was always worn out at the end of the game. And it goes to Miss Jalen Madison. Next is our offensive MVP, and it goes to a player who is often offending me. No, it goes to a player who is often one we counted on. She was our lone striker for many games, and a lot of times we told her, hey, just run. And she would be like, where? Run. All right, and she had one game where she had 2 goals. She had 2 games where she had a hat trick. Our last 2 regular season games, she had a hat trick. And our offensive MVP is Miss Jamie Lavoie. We then also have our most improved. Our most improved player came from a girl that the first couple games, she didn't play much. First couple practices, I was like, I don't know how much time I'm not going to actually be able to give her this year, to someone who became a big part of the rotation and in the last 2 games actually became a starter. This young lady was always like, Coach, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, everything, but get back out there and keep doing it. And she was like, okay. And she always had a smile on her face. And I was like, stop smiling. I'm not smiling right now. But this young lady is Miss Bailey Googe. Our next award is our Mustang Leadership Award. And it's a young lady that every time I would get upset or be like, guys, really, that wasn't that bad, she'd come over and be like, Coach, tell me what to do better and tell me how bad it was. She has a very competitive spirit. She gets it naturally if you know her family, and that is Miss Kaden Kaku. And then, very quickly, we have this one more award. It's our overall MVP. This young lady played offense. She played defense. She took our goal kick. She took our free kick. She took the one PK we got during the season. She did everything, and without her on the field, we wouldn't have half of the defensive stops, half of the offensive runs. She controlled the tempo of the game, and she also took out the legs of the players that we needed to slow down. She was very badly bruised by the end of the season, but she definitely is the all-around best player on our team. So our all-around MVP is Miss Ruby Shields.
Okay, congratulations. At this time, I would like to get our 2026 men's volleyball champions to come on down. Coach Sam has a volleyball for you. And so if you guys will first come to Coach Sam, he'll give you an autograph ball from your teammates. Then if you'll stand there in the frame for the pictures, we'll get that done. We're going to turn it over to Coach Hancock. Coach, we'll have you a championship ball here as well for you to take home. And then this is your awards right here.
All right. So we have back-to-back men's MACA conference champions over there, back to back. So with that being said, I got a few things to throw out before I get to the awards. The first one, this team kind of had a lot of ups and they had a few downs, but at the middle of the season, they kind of hit a point where if you're not getting better, you're actually getting worse. So I actually called in one of the players' uncle is a men's volleyball coach for ECU, and he spent a 2-hour practice that elevated this team from being good to actually being great. So with that being said, Jalen's uncle, he's not here, but give him a shout out whenever you see him. The next one is Pastor Scott. He's the assistant coach, and as most of you know, he was probably gone more than he was actually present. However, he was actually present when I needed him the most. If anybody was at the conference championship game, you would have seen the Mustangs were pretty much against the ropes and in a pretty bad way. What he has a niche for is seeing offenses and defensive play, and he can make adjustments. So with that being said, I do not know if we would have won without him being there, so thank you for the leadership that you brought to the team that night. All right, so with that being said, we're going to give you a little bit of team history about volleyball. The volleyball team has been had a men's sport for this school for 6 years. The first 3 years of us having a team, they won 0 sets. They pretty much got beat on every time they went out. But they learned. They got better and better. The 4th year, Pastor Scott took over, and he actually implemented some volleyball skills, some rotations, some defensive skills, and they went 8-8 that year and was 1 game from actually making it to the conference tournament. Just came up a little bit short. Heritage knocked us out. It was a very emotional moment for a said name, Aiden Madison. Last year, the team went 17-0, did not lose a single regular season game or conference game, and went to state and placed 4th in state. So, pretty big accomplishment. This year, 17-1. We lost 1 game, which is a blessing in disguise, because if we hadn't lost that game in the middle of the season, I'm pretty certain we would not have won the conference championship because we would have taken it for granted. So God has a mysterious way of working things, so I think he blessed us in disguise there. And oh, by the way, tomorrow the men's volleyball team heads to state, and they're the number 2 seed at the volleyball state championship. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and roll into the awards. The first award we're going to get out is the Offensive Player of the Year. If you've been to any of the volleyball games, there is no question who the offensive player is. But what you don't see is what he does behind the scenes when he's not on the court. All he does is volleyball year-round. And when Aiden came, or when we got this team together this year, and I came to Aiden, I said, hey, I'm going to need a few things from you. You're the most experienced player on this team. I'm going to need your leadership, and I'm going to need your coaching ability to work on the other kids. I need you to place your skill in their hands. And he did everything as he was asked. A little bit of background, he had 227 attempted kills and was successful at 184 of them. That is huge. That's more than some teams had as a whole. So with that, he was the team captain. He worked on other players. He assisted with rotations. So with that being said, Aiden Madison is the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. This could have went to a few players. However, this player came to us a couple years ago, not really a volleyball player. He had a little bit of play time, but not much. But when he tried out, you could see he had a natural skill for volleyball. One, he could jump like anybody I could ever see. He jumped and he could float. He couldn't really hit the ball, but he could act like he could jump. But as Aiden worked his magic, as P. Scott worked his magic, this player got better and better last year. This year, after playing some rec league ball, he elevated his game. He led the team in blocks. If you needed a dig in the back row, I'm not sure who was on the ground more, whether it was Josiah, Dylan, or Bailey, but he could be relied on to get the first good hit. He could be relied on to block. He could be relied on to spike. So with that being said, Josiah Allister is our Defensive Player of the Year. Most improved. The most improved could have went to a few different players as well. However, this player came to the team about 3 years ago. This player could not receive a ball. He could not set a ball. He could not serve a ball. He could run a scoreboard, and he was very teachable. He endured that entire season not playing a single rep. He came back last year And as most players, as they get older, they start to mature. They actually figure out how their body functions and how they can move left, right, up and down. This player started to get some play time in the back row and actually started getting some first good hits from time to time. He took a lot of verbal encouragement from players and coaches both, but he got better and better last year. This year, due to some coaching moves, Mr. Matthew had to step up for, well, another coghill that decided to graduate, and we moved him to the setter position. So this player, by virtue of his stature, being vertically challenged, has a low center of gravity, is pretty fast going left, right, forward, and back. So by virtue of his stature, he was assigned as the libero, which, if you don't know, is a pretty key defensive position in volleyball. At the beginning of the year, he wasn't perfect. He might hit a ball left. He might hit a ball left. It might actually go where you want it to. And for this reason, a lot of teams actually targeted him. So again, he took a lot of heat from players and coaches of both. But after Jalen's uncle worked with him, after Aiden worked with him, by the end of the season, nobody served him the ball anymore. In the conference championship, out of all 5 sets, he shanked 2 balls. The rest of them were put in a playable position. So with that being said, the most improved player is Dylan Hancock. Mustang leadership or Christian-like character. This one was kind of tough because you have Aiden Madison that is a true leader to the team. And you would expect that he is a shoo-in for this. However, there's one player that whether they're on the court or off the court, it changes the whole dynamics of the team. He changes the spirit of the team. He brings the team up, or he has the ability to bring the team down depending on what he's doing. I've seen this player for the last 4 years grow from be an okay volleyball player to being a force to be reckoned with at the net. So for that reason, our Mustang leadership is Evan Desmond. Last but not least, the shining moment. For anybody that was at the conference championship, you would have seen a volleyball game that is probably going to go down in history for this conference. The boys were down 2 sets and in a pretty tough position. But the end of that second set, or towards the end of the second set, 2 things happened. The first one was Dylan decided to get a little bit of blood on him, and what does most boys do when they get blood on them? They decide to wipe it on their shirt. Well, with that being said, Aiden had to call a timeout because I didn't see it, and we had to find a new shirt. Not a big deal. He busted open a locker room door, changed shirts that Matthew Coghill pulled out of his bag. And oh, by the way, he was a Coghill for the last 3 sets. But then something else happened about 3 plays later. Evan goes up for a ball and goes down and does not land on 2 feet and rolls his ankle. We ended up losing the second set, but we actually had the momentum in our favor. What we had to do is make some adjustments on the team, and Matthew played a full rotation. We put Jalen in the position of Evan. What you don't see is in the third set, we were down by 6 points. It was 19-13, and the momentum wasn't in our favor. Jalen turned around, served 6 straight points, and got us back in the game to where it was 19-18. We ended up turning that game around and winning. We won the 4th set 25-12, and the last set 15-10. For that reason, our shining star goes to Jalen Heyman.
And let's pray for these guys. I'm not sure if this is live streamed. I'll be putting it on our Facebook page. If you want to follow along, they'll be going to Fayetteville. And so of all, I think there's 40-some private / charter / Christian schools, volleyball teams in the state of North Carolina. We're ranked 2nd right now. So praise the Lord for that. These guys will be competing on Saturday, okay? Let's go on now to our softball team. Miss Lacey Arthur and her staff, if y'all would come up, we certainly would appreciate it. And while she's coming up, coaches, please don't forget to get your pictures at the end of the night, okay?
I'm going to try to be quick, y'all. All right. We are so proud of these ladies and the season they had. God truly blessed every one of us this season. It was filled with firsts, with several persevering through personal and even team-wide adversities. Our phrase was, brick by brick, with the might of every hand, we'll build a fortress through fortitude or courage through adversity. The fortress we're building is so much bigger than softball and will last a lifetime with faith as its foundation. We wish we had 13 awards to give because we have 13 ladies deserving of recognition of their contribution. Sam and Cam earned season all-conference recognition, and Kens and Emma earned conference tournament recognition to bring us to the number 2 spot, which I believe might be a school best. I'm told by our historian, Sam, that it is. Let's get to the awards. Most improved. We compared not just stats, but also personal growth and sacrifice for the good of the team, and this was probably the hardest to choose because so many worked so hard. This player stayed completely covered in bruises and scrapes for pushing herself for her team, always finding ways to still push a little bit harder, but her humility speaks for itself. She'll be making an ESPN highlight anytime now in center field, Miss Shelby English. For our offensive MVP, there was a good battle all season for offensive leader. As so many of our ladies stayed in or near the conference top 10, one player, however, pushed ahead not just in stats but in her leadership abilities, with leads in batting average, slugging, extra base hits, on-base percentage, stolen bases, and not to mention multiple in and out of the park home runs. She came to us in God's perfect timing when this team was a little heartbroken for that position. And we are so appreciative of everything she contributes, Miss Cam Bazile. This season, we really made some teams nervous for our future with how young we are and how hard we hit. Stepping onto the field, we even looked small, but we definitely didn't play small, making huge plays all season. Every season, I have other coaches ask me if this player is a senior yet, and all 3 times I've smiled and not yet, and enjoyed them shaking their heads. Being young is great for growth in this program's future, but it is well led with the calm experience of our conference game pitcher, defensive puppet master who somehow shrinks out of uniform, our ice queen and captain who shows up for her team over and over, wanting nothing more after a victory than to sit back and enjoy the smiles of her teammates. Miss Sam Argento, she was not able to make it tonight. And for our Mustang leadership, this goes to a player whose presence and rare absence were not only obviously noticed, but also felt. From the very first practice until the very last out, she simply never stopped, never slowed down. Her words for her teammates, even in some ugly truth moments, stayed completely positive. She has been the spark that kept them stirring and the mama hen who wouldn't stop pushing them to where they needed, even cleaning up their messes along the way when they didn't notice. Most importantly, she's been the biggest encourager and leader for Christ, both in team prayers with and no doubt also for her teammates, Miss Emmeline Eason.
All right, and we're at our final sport, and then we got 4 major awards to give out. We'll be finished. At this time, could I get our 2026 baseball champions, our MACA baseball champions, to come up, grab 1 ball, but not those 4. Guys, grab these balls right here. Hey, guys, come right here. grab these balls right here. It's signed by your teammates. If you take them, all these balls right here, these 4 are for the seniors, so leave these alone. But if you guys would go and then step right in front of that, and this time Coach Matt, is going to come up here, and he is going to give you guys your awards, okay?
Good evening, everybody. First off, I just want to say thank you to the school, Dan, Coach Fort. It's a very special team to me this year. It's a very special group. So I appreciate you guys letting me coach your kids. Yeah, we did win that conference championship, but as Coach Fort here will tell you, this was an easy team to coach. It was pretty much managing personalities. The groundwork was laid in years past for coaches like Matt Berry, Mr. Horvath, Mr. Sean Ryan, and Coach Andrew Phillips. So appreciate you guys putting in the work for this team. We'll jump right into the awards, guys. Offensive Player of the Year. This guy had 26 plus runs. He led us in stolen bases. He was hit by the most pitches. He led us off all year long. He was the spark to our offense. So Offensive Player of the Year is Mr. Xander Ryan. Oh, yeah! Hi, buddy. We'll go right into Defensive Player of the Year. This guy, he was our ace on the mound. Anytime the game was on the line, he wanted the ball in his hand. Over the season, he faced over 114 batters. He threw over 450 pitches. His opponent's batting average was a .185, which is pretty good. He was just the go-to guy on the mound. So Defensive Player of the Year, Mr. Preston Ryan. Most Improved, this is a special one for me here. I've sat and watched this guy play on this team for the past 3 years or longer. There's always been an upperclassman ahead of him, but he stepped up into his senior role this year. He was very, very consistent at the plate. He played first base for us all year. Most Improved Player, Mr. Britton Register. Oh, yeah! Love you, buddy. Do ours a little different here. We'll go ahead and go to my shining moment. I don't know if everybody knows here or not. If you were on the baseball team last year, you knew that we lost in the conference championship last year to our biggest rival, Faith. They ended up walking off with a home run, and it's kind of heartbreaking. But in our first game back against Faith this year, we got that home run back. So for that moment, Mr. Xander Ryan, come get your shining moment of the year. Oh, let's see here. All right, so our Christian leadership. This one's a special one to me. We won't talk too much about him. Hopefully you can tell what his character is by, he's won it twice already tonight. So he's a good kid. I'm very, very proud of him. I absolutely love him to death. I look forward to whatever the world has for you, buddy. So come on up, Mr. Aiden Haig. And just real quick, like I said, guys, this is a very special year for me. It's great to win the conference championship. But these 4 seniors I've seen grow up, so I want to give them a game ball from our final championship win. So Mr. Holden Popperwill, Britton Register, Aiden Britt, and Aiden Haig, come up here and get your championship game ball.
job, guys. Congratulations. Okay.
All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Pastor Scott to come up. Before I do that, just by way of a closing, if you had anything to do with our volleyball, coaches' wives, we got you shirts for volleyball, for basketball. We've got some of those double trouble shirts. So if you gave your husband up all summer or all during the winter, and we've got stuff for you, scorekeepers, everybody. So we got extra shirts. Please don't forget it. Please don't forget to get these pictures at the end of the night, okay?
All right, the last awards we'll give out tonight are our JV Girl Athlete of the Year, JV Boy Athlete of the Year, Varsity Girl, and Varsity Boy Athlete of the Year. What I'm going to do is just describe the award. I'm going to give you all 4 names. We'll give one round of applause, and they will come over here and get one final picture, okay? This is voted on by many of our staff. This is voted on by our administration. This is something that we discuss. This is an honor that we would love to see multiple students, and that seems to be the trend, that through their career, multiple students be able to experience this great honor. But JV for us is 10th grade and down, and then obviously varsity would be anyone who's able to play a varsity sport. One of the requirements is obviously academics, Christian character, leadership, all these things play into it. But also you have to play multiple sports to be eligible. And so each one of these players have been an asset to our overall program, and we're so proud of all of those. So again, I'll give you all 4 names. Hold your applause until the very end. All 4 of you come up. Coach Moore will give you your award. Go over to get your picture taken together. So for our JV Girl Athlete of the Year, that is Miss, hold your applause, Miss Cam Bazile. JV Boy Athlete of the Year, Mr. Austin Haig, hold your applause. Varsity Girl Athlete of the Year, Miss Jamie Lavoie, and Varsity Boy Athlete of the Year, Mr. Aiden Haig. All right, let's give them a round of applause.
All right, guys, let's get right here. While we're doing that quickly, go ahead and get a picture, all 4 of them together. These guys asked me not to forget, and I did. But Brother Matt, would you come up here? Aiden, would you seniors, you have something for your baseball coach, and I neglected to give you your time, and so I want to do that right now, okay? You want to make a speech, Aiden? They want to make a speech, okay? All right, but this is for Coach Haig, and we appreciate all he's done with our boys. Let's give him a hand. Congratulations. Job well done, okay? All right, guys. Hey, we had a great night, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys for supporting. Can I tell you another way you can support? How many of you are tired and ready to go home? Me too. So can you help? These lunch tables have to go back to the cafeteria. All the paper and stuff go into the trash can. All our centerpieces, you see those centerpieces? If you're a senior, get your centerpiece. All the balls and the holders go in this pit right here, please. And then we're going to put we'll leave all the trophies here. We're going to have a dismissing word of prayer, and then we're just going to let you go. Please be like little ants and help us out. Get this place cleaned up. We appreciate you guys. We love our athletics. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, we love you. We thank you for your goodness to us. Lord, I pray that you would bless these young people. Some of them, this is their last sports banquet. Lord, I pray that you be with them as they depart into their next season of life. Be with the young people that are coming back. May they work hard in the off season. We sure do love you.